help you get familiar with the function buttons that are on the front of the Pfaff Creative Icon 2. So over the years, they have taken the things that we use the most and put them right at our fingertips. So as you are sitting right in front of the needle, everything that you're going to use the most is probably one of these buttons. So I'm going to show you a couple tricks about them, and so you know a little bit more of how to use them. So for example, when you start to sew, you'll notice that you can just step on the foot control and that foot will lower. I just kind of tap the foot control. I didn't actually step on it, and that foot comes down on the fabric. So right here we have foot up, and if you push it again, it goes even higher. And not only does it go higher, but there was a little extra click that you will hear, and that's the feed dogs lowering. So right now I have got a lot of space. So if you have a very thick piece of fabric you're sliding in, go ahead and touch this button up so it is at the extra high lift. And those feed dogs go down. When you start to sew, they'll pop up in that very, very first stitch. If you do it twice on the down presser foot button, we'll call it that, as you push down, it goes on your fabric. If you push it again, it pops up. Look how my fabric's kind of free to move around, so I can get it exactly where I want it to be. Maybe a little this way, maybe back, so I can get started right at the edge of my fabric. Whatever you need it to be. The nice thing is you can see the fabric and see where you're going to start, so it makes it really easy versus doing it at that normal height. So a lot of times I'll lower it and then touch it again and then move my fabric to where I want to start. Continuing down on the front of the machine, the next one down is our newest one. This is the projector. You'll hear the camera come on, and whatever stitch that you have on your screen is now going to project onto your fabric. Now we are going to get into a more detailed video of how to adjust the brightness or change it based on your fabric that you're working on. I love it because like when I have a decorative stitch selected, I can actually see it, how long it's going to be. If I make it longer, it shows longer on my fabric. It's pretty incredible. And it's actually shining down right here. You can kind of see where my fingers are getting a little light on them. So this camera is right in that area, and that kind of pink line you're seeing on my finger right here, that's the line that's being projected onto the fabric. Again, you can change those colors around, so it's very easy to see if you're working on light fabric or dark fabric. When you want to turn it off, you can turn it off on the screen or with that same button. Down below, your button that has what looks like a play button is considered the go button or start button. So if I actually want to sew without holding my foot control down, and by the way, I do this when I do my stitch book, and if you haven't heard me talk about what a stitch book is, there's links below of how to start stitching out all these decorative stitches that you have built into this machine, so you really get to understand, number one, what they look like, because they always look prettier on fabric, and number two, it will get you more comfortable with your machine the more you stitch out. Trust me. So as I push it, now it's going to go pretty fast, so I'm going to just kind of keep my finger here. But if I push it again, it will stop. If I start it again but step on my foot control, it is a quick stop. So I just tapped my foot on the foot control, and instead of reaching for this button, I was able to stop the machine by activating the foot control there. So that is also very nice. Your lower one is your reverse button. We'll talk about this in a video where we'll kind of identify if you hold it, it goes away from you, backs up. If you touch it while you're not sewing, you're going to get a light right here. And that's going to indicate that's going to sew backwards until you stop and touch it again, and now we'll sew forward for you. So if you're used to probably that little quick hop back to lock the stitches, just go ahead, push it while you're sewing, hold it, release it when you have enough, and then finish off your stitch. Now the last thing that you usually do when you're done sewing is touch your thread scissors. So this is a quick one here. The thread scissors will cut the thread, lift the foot up, and let you pull it out. Now you'll notice you'll have just one thread when you do, and that is correct. That bobbin thread is cut underneath the throat plate and is waiting for the next stitch, which will come up as soon as you start to sew. So we'll just go ahead and put our fabric back underneath it. We also have a locking stitch. So at any given time, you can secure the stitches with a little forward, back, forward, and then be able to cut the thread. That's another great thing. Ooh, I'm going to go back one thing. When you're sewing, especially a decorative stitch, if you touch the scissor button while you're sewing, you'll get something else. It'll finish the decorative stitch, lock it, then cut it, and lift the foot up. So depending on when you touch the scissor button, whether you touch it while you're stopped and not sewing, you'll get a quick cut. But if you touch it while you're sewing, it'll finish the stitch. For example, in a straight stitch, it just finishes the stitch, locks it, cuts it, and then lifts the foot. So it's kind of like an all-in-one. So we do teach our students that that's a great one to get comfortable with of when to touch it. Do you touch it when you're sewing or while you're stopped, depending on the outcome that you're doing? Now this next one is a symbol that looks like a decorative stitch, and it has a line at the beginning. So if you have a decorative stitch and you've stitched part of it and then stopped halfway through, or maybe you just came to the end of your fabric and realized you were done, so you pulled it out, but you were going to still do that same stitch again back on another row. If you just start, you're going to pick up wherever that last stitch was when you ended. So to get back to the beginning of the stitch, you'll touch the pattern begin. It will put the stitch back to starting, especially nice in the decorative stitch world, back at the beginning so you get a whole stitch from the beginning and not a half one from the leftover. Nobody wants leftover decorative stitches at the beginning of their next line. This one here is your needle up-down button. As you push it, you're going to find that it will turn lit, and then every time you sew, you can stop with your needle in the down position. The other benefit here is that the needle down allows for the foot to pop up, and it's hovering, or a pivot position as it's sometimes called. As you go ahead and sew, the foot goes back down, and when you stop again, that needle stops down and lifts the foot. One of the settings you can turn off is the fact that this foot pops up every time you stop with the needle down. So if you would like that to not be always popping up, actually it's a nice feature, but there are times where I don't want it to do that, and I will turn it on or off based on what I'm doing. But that would be how you get your needle to always stop in the fabric. Of course, if you just hit the scissor button, it will bring that needle up, do the cut like it's supposed to, and then allow you to pull it right back out. Now I skipped one of these buttons, and that's because it is the needle threading button, and I love that it's much closer now, and just the fact that when I go to put my thread in the automatic needle threader, I can just go ahead and push the needle threader, especially when I'm in embroidery. I can touch it and then reach down here and start my embroidery. Now one other thing, I'm going to, just since we're talking about this, the starting and stopping with the button, you will find yourself wanting to probably decrease the speed of the machine if you're doing this on the sewing side. Now, I don't usually decrease the speed when I'm embroidering because I usually want to get done. And most machines and threads can run at that high speed, but to reduce the speed of the machine, you'll find the speed adjustment on the side. When you kind of go to move it, you'll see a new screen come up, and you can adjust it to whatever suits your interests. So let me just go ahead and push the start button. I'm at the lowest speed, so you can kind of hear and watch how fast that's going. I'm going to go a little faster, and then all the way fast, and then all the way slow. So at a quick little pull, you can pull this all the way to its lowest setting. Now one other thing that I like to use the speed adjustment for here would be when I'm free motion quilting. So sometimes as I'm working to get my stitches all the same stitch length, I like to adjust this down to about a half or maybe even 3/4, depending on your free motion quilting abilities. The speed adjustment can be your best friend there. But when you are associating it with the start-stop button on the front of the machine, like we've been talking about, reach over here and just know that you can set it for the speed you're most comfortable with. So I hope these videos have been helpful for mastering the functions on the front of your machine, and check out all the videos that we have done. We've got links below in the description, including ways to preview some of the online courses that we have and check out to see if they might be right for you.